The Rockets are looking to defeat their Western Conference rival going into this game. We've got some terrific NBA action in store for you today. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. The last time these two teams met, it was the Houston Rockets who came away with the W against the Clippers.
Yeah, and in that game, Kevin, I thought they shared the ball, they spread the floor, they shot it well. They were just so efficient offensively.
You're all over it, Steve. Everything you said is right on point. The way they moved the ball, they created so many high percentage shots.
A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. The Quick in at shooting guard. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Patrick Patterson. Then it's Jeremy Lin. And it's Martin in at the small forward position. And for the Clippers, Crawford and Butler out on the perimeter. Odom out there with Griffin. And it's Paul in at point. Here's Lin, following the basket by Blake Griffin. The Quick, yes! And a nice assist from Lin. The Quick's got 6.
Tell you, they might have to make a defensive adjustment. They can't give him that kind of a look from beyond the arc.
And finished off by Griffin.
I tell you what, you need to archive that one for the highlight tape.
Oh, yeah, that is a keeper. You're correct.
Man, that was incredible.
Yeah.
And those plays will give your team a huge boost. Well, you think about what Chris Paul meant to the Clippers, guys, not just on the floor, and that's pretty obvious. He's one of the best point guards in the league, if not the best. But it had more to do with the identity of the team. I think people took them seriously after that deal. And in fact, you know, in LA, there was a budding rivalry between the Clippers and the Lakers for, you know, who was the city's best team. And that had never been a question before.
Now here's Paul. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Philadelphia.
And he was just lurking defensively in that game, Kevin. 4 steals during that ballgame.
Lin kicks to Martin. 18 feet out. Gets it to go. For so long, Steve, you know, it seemed that the Clippers were always the second fiddle, but with Chris Paul ending up there and not in a Laker uniform, it just changed the whole mindset, Clark, it seems, of the franchise.
And if you've had the tough breaks that the Clippers have had over the years, you know, one big moment or big player acquisition like a Chris Paul can really move your franchise in a totally different direction.
You know, one of the things I love about Chris Paul is that, like so many of the great ones, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Off the floor, he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, but when the game starts, he's an absolute killer.
That's good. The Quick's got 12 in the game. Clippers have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the tape of that game, guys. I was shocked at how soft they played defensively.
Heck, you didn't need to go back to the tape. All you had to do was look at that box score. I mean, it's obvious they were giving up a lot of high percentage shots.
And Chris Paul, Steve, you touched on this in his competitive nature. And yet he remains friendly with a lot of players and other teams off the court.
Well, he's highly respected and well-liked by his peers because he's a terrific player and a great competitor. It's that new school kind of mentality, kind of buddy-buddy in your free time, but once the ball's in play, no prisoners are taken. And he's balanced that and walked that line really well.
Butler, second chance shot. Here's Griffin, slams it on the run.
Step aside, step aside. We got the big fella coming through.
That is a powerful brand of basketball right there.
Man, an amazing putback. You just love the effort from this guy.
For the Houston Rockets, they won their last contest in that game against Golden State.
Well, the thing that served them best in that game was their fantastic three-point shooting.
And the way they were rotating, moving the ball, getting it from side to side, getting open on the perimeter, boy, it was beautiful to watch.
The Rockets again can't hit. The Clippers have gone 6 of 9, shooting it well. Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Kevin McHale.
We talked about the difficulties of facing a player like Chris Paul, and he said that what makes Paul so incredible is his court vision. He explained that there haven't been many players like Paul who can pick a defense apart with both his passing ability and his patience in the offensive sets, saying really, he can just wait you out until he sees a weakness, and that's where he attacks.
Thanks, Doris. Big group substitute. The rebound by Patterson.
Well, those chances are almost always 2 points for him. I guess the defense did what it had to do to bother him.
That's good.
He has looked very comfortable from three-point land today.
Well, the bulk of his points, that's where they've come from.
A free-flowing.
On stands now. Grab the latest issue of 2K Style magazine. On the cover, it's The Quick, a growing icon looking good both on and off the court.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And guys, for the Rockets, what jumps out to you from a numbers standpoint?
Boy, a ton of threes in that first quarter. This team really lighting it up, guys.
Yeah, it's been an onslaught from downtown.
This is how the floor looks for the Rockets starting the second. The Quick, he's in at shooting guard. Patrick Patterson is out there with Chandler Parsons. Then there's DeAndre Jordan. And it's Lynn in at the one spot. He kicks it to Parsons. Outside, Lynn. And Houston again with the bucket.
Beautiful offensive execution, and they're starting to extend this lead.
And they could run away with it if they get hot at the right time here.
Kevin McHale, just one of the funniest people you've ever met. I mean, he has so many stories. That's why he was a good broadcaster. But I think that serves you well as a coach, too. You really need to keep the players entertained. It's such a long, grinding year. I'm sure he cracked a few jokes in that locker room.
Here's the Quick. The basket good off the assist from Lynn. Lynn's got his 5th assist in this one.
My goodness, he's knocking down everything he looks at.
Here's Bledsoe, defended by Lynn. And Griffin slams it in.
I'm not sure if any player is going to top that one.
Maybe the only player that could beat it is another alley-oop jam.
Yep.
Even then, it'd be hard to execute it any better than that one.
And Steve, you mentioned Coach Kevin McHale and his great sense of humor. Such a great asset for a coach with all the ups and downs of the season.
Yeah, 82 games, Kevin. I mean, it's such a grind at times. You need somebody to lighten things up. You need a coach who can change things up, keep you off guard a little bit. So that sense of humor of McHale's really comes in handy.
Passes it to Butler. The three. And it's Lynn with the rebound. Rockets leading by 12. Parsons. A huge slam. The perfect end of the fast break.
There's that transition offense. It's been big for them in this game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's what they've had working for them. Speed. They've upped the tempo whenever they've had the chance.
Well, Parsons was really a surprise coming out of Florida. Had a big impact his rookie season with Houston. Very reliable in a lot of areas. Can handle the ball, can knock down a long-range shot, and a better defender than you think as well.
That is what makes Parsons such an easy guy to send down to the floor. You know exactly what he's going to give you on offense and is very consistent. Back to Billups. Puts up a three. It's rebounded by Houston.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger. Yeah,
not enough defensive coverage there to prevent him from firing that time, but yeah, I think if he's open, he's got to let that thing fly.
Takes the 13-footer. That's good. Billups has got his first basket of the night. Rockets have gotten 4 of their first 5 shots to fall in the second quarter. Outstanding shooting.
Now, Billups has been around for such a long time, but with the size, the strength, the great shooting touch, Mr. Big Shot has remained effective.
Paul goes in. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And you know, guys, Chauncey Billups, we've watched him for a number of years, has that old man game that can just last and last. He doesn't rely on his athleticism. It's all about strength, technique, fundamentals, and smarts. He's got a quick trigger from outside, can post you up. He's got all the little fakes and moves to get defenders off balance and draw fouls. He's got a full package. I love watching him work.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Here is Forbes. Here's the Quick. Battles through traffic and lays it in. The Quick's got 7 now in this quarter.
That's 4 of their last 5 buckets now coming in the paint area.
And they're in attack mode right now, barreling in there with bad man intentions.
Here's Bledsoe. No good. And it's Houston the other way. A nice shot by Griffin.
Well, you're not going to get a more high-quality look than that. Terrific offensive rebound there.
Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession.
Boy, just a brain cramp, guys. I mean, that should have been the simplest of exchanges.
"36 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
Butler on the wing, looking for his first bucket of the game. Shot clock at 5. Backing in with the fadeaway. And that's collected by DeAndre Jordan. Here's the Quick with the lead pass. Stolen by Bledsoe. Here's Leslie. The shot is off. And so we wrap up the first half. Rockets ahead. They lead by 13. And it's time now for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. We'll be back shortly to get the second half underway.
Now, presented by Sprint.
It's Wednesday night at the 2K Sports Studio, and this is the halftime report. The Houston Rockets in front against the Clippers. Their hot streak continues, looking good so far. We've seen the Quick in top form. He's accounted for more than half their points so far. Not a lot of guys pull that off. For the Clippers, a much different story. The outside shot just not there for them today, but that certainly hasn't stopped them from trying. We might see some adjustments after the break. Caron Butler falling a little short in this one. An embarrassing stat for him as he comes to the break. No shots made from the floor. And now we'll send you back to Staples Center for the start of the second half.
The busy streets of Los Angeles lighting up the night sky as we continue. The Quick has been sensational.
Yeah, give him credit. He's been very selective with his shots, and it's paying off for him and his team.
You know, he's taking exactly what the defense is giving him, and he's not forced anything. That's exactly how you should play the game, in my opinion.
So with Billups on the bench, here's who's on the floor now for Vinny Del Negro. Crawford and Butler out on the perimeter. Griffin is out there with Odom, and it's Paul in at the 1. Now here's Odom, averaging 6 points per contest. Here's Crawford. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. And that's now 6 points for Crawford. Rockets leading by 12. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. The Quick in the last game against the Warriors got the job done. He ended up with 59 points, and he got there with his usual way. Just an impressive barrage of threes. Truly impressive numbers from him in a stellar performance. What a special night.
Okay, Doris, thanks. Great report on what was Clark an outstanding performance.
Kevin, he was simply on fire. These are the kinds of games that define truly great NBA careers.
Yeah, you could see from the beginning, he just seemed to have it. You know, he was on his game, and he remained aggressive throughout in what was really a great win.
Well, another uncontested three there. They've got to make some kind of an adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open threes.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come off wide-open three-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up one, but you start giving three-pointers up in bunches, you're in big trouble.
Just over a minute and a half had passed here in the third quarter.
You know, it might not be the biggest margin, but don't take what they've done on the boards for granted. I mean, it's been a strong area for them in this game.
You know, Clark, I mean, it all adds up. You do a little bit better job here, a little better job there. You look up, it makes a big difference on the scoreboard.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this deep.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up, make him put it on the floor.
Butler dishes to Crawford. 6 on the shot clock. Jacks up a 3, and the shot is good. Crawford's got 7 now in this quarter.
Now you look at Vinny Del Negro, spent some time in the Phoenix Suns front office as a scout before moving on to the coaching ranks when he landed that first job with the Chicago Bulls.
And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Clippers trail by 13. Paul passes to Crawford. Crawford missing again.
He just hasn't been able to build any momentum in this game. He's got to find something out there.
And Steve, you go back to Vinny Del Negro, a scout for the Suns prior to coaching. He was also in broadcasting.
Yeah, he's been around the game forever. A lifer. His father was a coach. It's in his blood. He actually grew up just outside of Springfield, Massachusetts, the home of the Hall of Fame. So Vinny, I guess, is just meant to be in basketball.
Good. The Clippers shooting their 7th attempt at the foul line in this one.
And guys, I'd have to credit the work they put in at the free throw line to practice this season. I mean, because they have noticeably improved since a year ago.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Ronny Turioff, he's checked in for Griffin. Hill comes in for Lamar Odom. And Chauncey Billups has subbed in for Jamal Crawford.
And guys, Caron Butler was a solid addition to the Clippers last year. He signed a 3-year deal, which was surprising given that he was coming off major knee surgery. But he gave the Clippers the outside shooting small forward that they needed.
The shot's good from Douglas.
What a half they're having from beyond the arc. It's getting ridiculous.
And there's no reason they shouldn't keep attacking from out there. I mean, they've got it going on in a big way now.
Paul kicks to Billups. The fader. Here's Hill. Hits it. Well done on the second effort. Hill's got his first bucket of the night. There's 1:17 left in the third. Rockets leading by 14. And you mentioned Butler's outside shooting, Steve, important for the Clippers to be able to spread the floor with Paul and Clark, Blake Griffin.
Yeah, Butler actually spaces the defense out and keeps them honest. Paul is their pick and roll operator, and obviously Griffin gets it done in the paint.
Beyond the arc. Rockets with the rebound.
Well, that's clearly a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look at.
Not true. The defenders shouldn't relax just because he missed that one. He's capable of getting hot in a hurry.
And it's Paul penetrating. He feeds it to Billups. Hill kicks to Butler. Feeds it to Turioff. Kicks it to Billups. The 18-footer is right on the mark. Billups has got his second basket of the game. 24 seconds left to play in the third. Rockets have gone 5 of 9 on field goal attempts since halftime. And Paul over to help. And there's the feed to Johnson. It's stolen by Hill. Now the Clippers moving it up. The basket good off the assist from Billups. Hill's got 4 points this quarter. Here's Martin, averaging 9 points per contest. Here's the quick, and out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession.
That is not a difficult pass. You think they could keep it in bounds.
Butler is screen on Lynn. Paul kicks to Griffin. Back to Paul. Griffin a screen on Lynn. Shot off the screen. Griffin's shot is off. Taking a look at the Rockets. But quick in a 2-guard. Martin is out there with Patrick Patterson. Then it's Jeremy Lin. And it's Jordan in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Big mistake not having more defensive pressure on him out there.
Odom kicks to Crawford. Crawford gets a screen from Griffin. Crawford outside. He dishes it to Griffin. Shoots it. And again, no good by the Clippers. Rockets leading by 11. Down low, here's Martin. An easy 2 points on the layup. And the Clippers have possession. Well, they've got the Lakers ahead of them after this game. In the next game, it'll be played in Los Angeles. That will be a getaway game for them, a 1-game road trip. Here's the quick, defended by Paul. The quick, it's hauled in by Jamal Crawford. Crawford's got his 3rd rebound on the night. And it's Paul penetrating. Here's Butler. And again, no good by the Clippers. The Rockets have gone 3 of 8 here in the 4th quarter. Here's the quick. This one for three. Griffin grabs the board. Now the Clippers moving it up. Paul's running.
And for a point guard, you love LUV. That finish. Wow.
Yeah, he's really been able to get off his feet and sky. Something to watch.
Incredible athleticism, both laterally and vertically.
They double him with Butler. Martin with the bucket. And the Rockets lead by 13.
They're having a little more difficulty getting the ball inside here. The defense has done a much better job collapsing on them when they throw it inside. Double teaming and being active with their feet and hands.
That's good for Martin.
You know, Houston for the last several years has tried to get a star player on their roster, but it's so difficult to do. There's only about 10 of them in the entire league. But what they've done is they've put a lot of good players on the floor. They've built their asset base, and they're poised to make a deal when the right one comes their way.
The quick. Here's Patterson. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
No time wasted getting back off the ground when he got his hands on the ball. I like that quickness of jump.
And that's the idea, right? You know, take it back up strong.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no reason to hold on to it any longer than you have to.
And Griffin backs in. Crawford outside. The three. Shot's good. Crawford's got 10 points here in the second half. Really, if you don't have a top 10 player in the league, you just continue to gather talent, and that's what the Rockets have really done.
Yeah, and you call that stockpiling assets. If you aren't building around someone, then you get as many good assets as you can because they're always movable. And I think Houston has done a nice job with that. They're in a position to add pieces or either trade for additional pieces now.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Vinny Del Negro was going over with his team. He told them, no holding back. I want 100% effort out there. If you can't give it, ask for a sub. No time to rest now. Let's get after it. Kevin, he wants everything they've got.
And that rebound pushes their margin to +5 on the boards. Solid job on the glass.
Well, it's just part of what they've done here to build this big lead, and it shouldn't be overlooked. I mean, rebounding is a huge part of this game. He has taken over this game, guys. I don't know what else you can say about it.
The pass to Paul. Back to Crawford. Takes a three. Crawford missing again. The Rockets have gone 7 of 15 from the floor here in the fourth, right around 46-47%. And that one's good.
Doesn't look like they're going to take it easy on them down the stretch.
It certainly doesn't look like it. I mean, they're still aggressively attacking the basket and putting up points.
Will it go? He lays it in with a soft touch.
You know, Kevin, they were a step late on their defensive rotation, and that helped them get right to the rim.
The Rockets have gone 8 of 16 from the field in the fourth, exactly 50%. Here's the quick. They get it back. A nice shot by Lynn. And the Rockets lead by 18.
Well, the outcome is not in question now. They've got it all wrapped up.
Agreed. I mean, they're just looking to simply run the clock out now.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock.
Not a good look at the hoop. They've got to do a better job offensively creating some space.
The quick. And again, it's the Rockets from deep.
Well, you can put this one in the W column. I mean, this is locked up now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they closed this game out exactly like they needed to.
You gotta love the low post offense. That was beautiful.
Here's Jordan. Here's the quick. No good there. So we see the Rockets taking the win here. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, the Quick.
We just heard the news about your being named to the All-Star team. What's your favorite part about the entire weekend experience?
I don't know if there is just one thing, but if I had to pick, though, I'd probably say the game itself. They played it with a little more intensity back in the day, but even now there's a definite sense of rivalry between the East and West. And it's pretty amazing seeing the amount of talent out there on the court all at once. At any time, any one player could just go off and do something spectacular.